sincerely want to grow, you want to be better, you want to improve everything you are looking out in life. But have you thought about the place you are in? Sometimes the problem is that you try so hard, and the place you are trying to grow is the place hindering you. Because environment where you are placed at any point in time has the ability to hinder you or push you forward.
So today we'll be talking about something that silently controls ambition, behavior, and results, which is your environment, just like she had clearly stated. And we'll be breaking it down in three simple, powerful dimensions. Your energy, which is your spiritual environment, your mental space, which is more like your solical environment, and then who you interact with and surround yourself with, your physical environment. Because your life is not just shaped by what you want, it is shaped by what you're constantly exposed to within your space and your environment.
Oh, great. So the 3 points she mentioned, I'll be taking the first point. And if you're joining us live, welcome to our live section. And today we are talking about something that affects a lot of people. If you also like what you are hearing, do not hesitate to hit the like button and share this video. So the first point I'm talking about is environment and standards. What does this really mean? It means that your environment affects you directly, and in turn, it affects the standard of your life. For example, if you grew up in a location that people are not celebrated a lot, you will, if you leave that location and you are planted somewhere else, even if you want to express yourself and somebody applauds you, you will get to feel strange about it.
Yeah.
So you get to see that if you live in a place where you are hushed down always, you will find it difficult to express yourself. If you live in a location or in an environment where you are always appreciated, you are applauded, you are encouraged to do more. Even when you fail, you are encouraged to do more. Trust me, whatever the life throws at you, you will eventually succeed because there's that innate ability in you, knowing that you can succeed, you can get it, because there's a foundation, or what I call, or what we are talking about, the environment had given you that opportunity to thrive. So that is the power of the environment you are in. If you're in an environment where average thinking is normal, small goals are celebrated, and excuses are accepted, what happens is that you will not even realize that it is haunting you. It is making you feel like this standard is good. That's why it's also encouraged that people should travel out of their environment once in a while, so you don't feel like I'm a champion here. This is me here. I am the king here. But when you step out of that environment or that area, you get to see that, oh, I'm not even meeting up to the standard that the world actually needs. All right. Environment does not argue with you. Like, what this means is that it constantly trains you. Wherever you are, just start noticing it. If where you are, people don't celebrate you, over a period of time, you become a shadow of yourself. And over time, your ambition gets to dwindle. You don't push further. There's nothing that pushes you to strive to be better. Okay, so people don't always lose ambition. They slowly adapt to what is around them. So think deeply now. The environment where you are, maybe your house, maybe your workspace, maybe your church, whatever environment it is, does it encourage you to be better, or does it encourage you to be a mediocre?
Amazing, amazing. That was a beautiful one. So the next one we're going to talk about is your energy. Now, energy transfers through people and spaces. If you don't know that, you need to know that today. I would say it again. Energy transfers through people and spaces. Now, here is something, right, that you need to think deeper on. Energy transfers through people. It transfers through conversations that you have with people. It transfers through spaces that you share with people. So some environment actually drain you without you saying a word. So you might be in an environment and you notice that everything is just stagnant, things are not moving, the energy around that environment is not suitable for you. So when you pay, and some of these things are not very obvious,
Yes.
so you might not even notice it on time, but you need to pay attention to the environment you find yourself in. And the things that you find in this environment are the people. So these people in your environment and your space, what energy do they carry around them? There are some people that once you have a conversation with, you feel depressed.
True.
I'm telling you,
True.
you feel depressed. Sometimes while the conversation is going on, you might not even realize it until after you've left that person.
Or you just share a little goal. Look at what I want to achieve.
Exactly. And then
Forget it.
everything that
1001
comes
reason,
out of
negative.
their mouth just keeps draining you
True.
until your entire energy is sucked out, right? So you need to be careful and take advantage. Pay attention to these kind of spaces. If you find yourself in that kind of space, you need to find a way to move out of that space. Now you just and again, sometimes this could bring a lot of distraction to you, just like she mentioned. Maybe you share something with someone that you want to do, your goal exactly, and you leave there feeling unsure. Am I sure? Will I still do this thing?
It's not
Like,
possible.
is it possible? So we have those kind of people. You find them in certain environments and you find them in certain spaces. Now, these spaces and environment is not limited to family. Some people, they experience it with family. It is also not limited to maybe your friends or church members or your workspace. It is everywhere you find people that you associate with. Check your energy. Now, for others, when you associate with them, there are some spaces that you feel sharper. You feel like, oh, I have sense. You feel like, oh, all the wisdom in this world, God has given it to you, right? You feel clearer, you are more focused. It is because of the kind of energy that comes out of them, the kind of energy that is shared in that space. Now, when we talk about your spiritual environment, we are referring to your energy field. Like I mentioned from the beginning, we're talking about energy. You're referring to your energy field. And the truth is, you cannot stay in an environment long enough without absorbing its energy.
True.
So this is why you should be very careful, very mindful of the kind of environment that you stay in consistently. Now, it doesn't happen in a day. It builds up gradually. So if you're in a place where everyone's energy is sharp, is strong, is clear, focused, you'll be like that eventually, even if you don't have that energy. It is contagious, right? So if you stay in a place where the energy sucks out your own energy, over time you become like that without even realizing it. So what you are consistently around is shaping how you feel, how you think, how you act, even unconsciously.
Whoa. So to summarize what you just said, if you walk with the wise, you become wise.
Exactly.
So if you are found in the company of fools,
because they assist
do
food.
you understand? So it's so powerful. Like if literally you can put what we are talking about into action or possibly think about it, you realize that sometimes you're even doing well, but because of where you are, you're just planted in the wrong place, and eventually you will die. All right. A part of the Bible says that the tree planted by the riverside, it constantly flourishes. So it grows green. People love it because it has water, it has
In
everything,
season and out of season.
But when you are in the wrong place, every single time you are drained, you look depressed. People look at you and be like, are you okay? To you, you're okay, but you don't look okay because of where you are. So just think about this. It's not just in a personal life, maybe in your marriage, maybe in your business, maybe in your workspace. Just take a think deeply about what we are talking about. The third point we are going to talk about is exposure. This is my favorite because
very powerful.
I believe I'm that person that really before now, I didn't used to think that exposure can do so much to a person.
Yeah.
I didn't used to think about that till I experienced it one time, and I realized that, wow, if you leave your environment, maybe just a little bit of travel, a little bit of visits, all right, you always think that I'm doing well where I am, all right,
Exactly.
till you travel for events, you network with other people, you realize that look at what people are doing. I'm still sleeping. I've not even scratched what is inside of me.
Yeah.
That is the power of exposure. So in all you do, the biggest secret in people, why people travel for events, to travel to locations, is just to get that feel. Because sometimes you are in, let me use myself an example. I was in Enugu and boom, I moved to Abuja. It was a different exposure entirely. You think you are doing so much, so you move to a bigger space. Then you imagine also if I step out of this comfort zone, in quotes, there's always something bigger. You just feel
Exactly.
like, oh, this is a point where I need to move. This is a point you understand? So that is what exposure does for you. So don't feel like you're a champion yet till you have stepped out of that location
Your
where
comfort
you
zone.
are, or your comfort zone. So when you are exposed, what it happens or what it does for you is that you begin to think big.
Yeah.
There's always more. There's something more. Whatever you're doing now, there's something bigger than it. It also helps you to create better systems. I believe strongly when it comes to systems is that people learn this. If you've not built a system in whatever you are doing, your workflow, your family, your businesses, then you stay longer or you suffer more. Systems helps you to achieve more. Okay, so when you are exposed, you get to build better systems. When you are
Exactly.
exposed, you imbibe higher standards. So you used to do something like a mediocre, like it doesn't matter, no touch of excellence. But when you are exposed, you start imbibing standard. You learn how to talk better. You learn how to dress better. These are growths. Like whether we like it or not, it's little baby steps, but we are getting better. Then the last thing is when you are exposed, you build people, you achieve or attract people who in turn influence your life. Whether you like it or not, you don't have everything. Sometimes people, the answer you are looking out for is just one person away, not even one step, one person away. And when you just share that thing, maybe an idea, you have a thought in your head and just shared it with the right person, and boom, the person carries it, fleshes it out, gives you inspiration, tells you the next step to take. And that is your success story, right? Sometimes that is what shifts you. It feels like, oh, this person has achieved so much. And it's because the person met the right person that he or she talked to.
Exactly.
All right. And that's how the person's life story
Transformed
changed. Exactly.
completely.
All right. So you start realizing that there's more you can achieve when you are exposed. So as little as it is, try and leave your comfort zone. Like I said, it could be a travel, it could be a skill, it could be a networking meeting. Just strive to be in a space where people are literally ahead of you and don't feel intimidated. Exposure doesn't just inspire you, it expands your perception of possibilities. You begin to think that you can achieve so much more. That's what exposure does for you.
Amazing. So for me, the highlight of what she said is the fact that exposure changes your perception of possibility.
Yeah.
If you don't live where you are, you would never believe that it is possible.
It is possible.
The things you dream about. And moreover, when you live and you get exposed to these things, it increases your vision, the way you see things, the way you dream about things, and expand your goals as well. So for me, that's my takeaway. So the next one we're talking about is negative environment normalize stagnation. How negative environment normalizes stagnation. So this is where a lot of people get stuck. And we're talking about this today, so you would realize that sometimes it's not because you're not doing enough or you're not doing okay. It's because you've normalized the negativity happening around you, right? So negative environment don't always feel negative at first. They feel very familiar, comfortable, right? And slowly they begin to normalize stagnation. So things like delay, you start experiencing delay, or you're experiencing delay in one or two things, and then you give a lot of excuses why you can't do this, why this is not possible. Someone is telling you, do you know this thing you're doing? If you do it like this, it will work. The first thing that comes out of your mouth is no, I'm not sure say this thing will work, and then lack of growth. You would never grow. Why? Because you're very comfortable. You've normalized the current state such that growth is now strange to you entirely. And then you keep repeating the same circles, and over time, it starts to feel very normal. So, this is exactly how some people's life is, literally. This is how some people's life are. But for people who are very self-conscious, they are very aware of themselves, they begin to seek, solutions of how to better their lives. Initially, like I've been hearing recently, like some excuses look like they are not excuses, right? But they are excuses. And there's some things you do that you feel that this thing I'm doing is working, but at the end of the day, the whole thing is making you not to grow, but you will not realize it. Like we say, growth is one step at a time.
Yeah.
You don't wake up and become the best in whatever it is you're doing. It takes gradual steps and processes for you to achieve that. And once stagnation becomes normal, growth starts to feel very uncomfortable. Okay, so this is how environment quietly hold people back, not by stopping them, but by normalizing staying the same. So there was a time, I think during my university days, almost when I finished university and I was waiting for service, I just knew that in my heart that this is NYC that I'm going to, I'm not coming back home. Because I felt like there is more out there. But if I stay in this my environment, I would never grow. I would never achieve the things that I want to do in life. And guess what? I went for that service and I never went back.
Wow.
You
set your mind to it, and
exactly. I knew it from day one. I started planning this thing right from 500 level. I just saw a lot of, like, I see it online. I see that, oh, I can be more than what I am. I don't want to be the things I'm seeing in this environment. So I knew that there's more out there. And that exposure, because I went for service in a different place entirely, confirmed my thoughts back then.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of things that are very possible. I saw a lot of young people succeeding. I saw people doing things and I was like, wow, so this thing is possible. It exposed my mind, it changed my mind, and that confirmed my earlier belief, and it gave me the strength to, to push through with that decision. And I've never regretted it so far. So when you feel that you need that nothing is working, just check your environment. Now, when we talk about environment, remember we're talking about energy, family, people around you.
Yeah.
Check the kind of words that are coming from these people. There's some people that when you say, oh, I'm going to be driving this car tomorrow, I'm going to live in so place tomorrow, they are like,
from where to where?
That there's this saying, they say hang your clothes according to your size, something like that.
No doubt you.
Exactly. So you need to find your own space, your own environment that works for you.
All right. The fifth one, she had already talked a little on that, which is circles, changing your circle. Now that you've realized that you can be more, one thing that can help you achieve it faster is the circles you keep. So who are the people around you? Are they people who celebrate growth, or are they people who quench growth? So find out those circles and also imbibe it, right? There's nothing like having access that can change everything. When you get access to people, then it leads you to expansion. I mean, real assets, right assets, it leads you to expansion. When your circle changes, your conversation change. Exactly. Right? Sometimes you used to talk about, you didn't even used to talk about 1 million. But because you're in the circles of people always talking about million, it became normal to you. Yeah. Now, when people talk about million, it's okay. That is what circles does for you. And also your thinking change. Before now, I used to think that if I can just see food to eat, I'm okay. Now people are talking about building assets. People are talking about what they want to achieve, and you're around them. You're always around them. What it will start doing for you is that you start thinking, you start looking at yourself like, I'm not a serious person. It starts prompting you to think more. Because in those kind of conversations, they are telling you, they are talking. If you don't have anything to say, it means you go home and start thinking about your own life. All right, that is what circles does for you. The right circles, remember. And the next thing is your standard will grow, then your ambition will stretch. That one is always a giving. You start thinking of more, you dream more, you want to achieve more. Even if you never had a thought of doing something worthwhile for yourself, you'll now start thinking for the people around you, maybe your parents, your siblings, people. There are people who want that. There are people that know that if you grow and become better, their lives will also become better. So change your circles. Think of people who will push you to be better, right? And sometimes growth is not just about doing more; it's about moving in the right direction.
That's amazing, powerful. Now, when she mentioned 1 million, something came to mind.
Yeah.
There was a day I was riding home and I heard something on radio, and this lady was like, "Would give you 10 million naira if you just decide to do a live show with your family, like just expose your, your entire family, your private life online, put it out online, you win 10 million." So it was on radio, and subconsciously in the vehicle, I just said, "What is 10 million?" 10 million is too small.
Wow.
Okay. That is because of the environment I found myself in. We're talking of hundreds of millions, billions. So I felt like 10 million was too small.
Wow.
It wasn't worth showcasing my private life on social media, But for some people, that's something very, very big. And that's what environment does to you. Now, we're going to summarize this in 3 categories. So the 3 environments we're talking about, number 1 is mental environment. This is your thought life, your belief system, your mindset. What you repeatedly think becomes what you accept as your reality.
True.
So it is important that you check, how do I think? What is my mindset towards life? What is my mindset towards money? What is my mindset towards relationships? What is my mindset towards family? What is my mindset towards parenting? Check all of those things. Else, whatever it is you decide that should be your mindset will be what you constantly think about, and that will be the result at the end of. If your mental environment is small, your life will reflect it. So if your mental environment is big, your life will also reflect that. The second one is your energy, which is your spiritual environment. So this is your inner atmosphere. What you feed your spirit affects your strength, your clarity, and your direction. Now, if you check when you wake up in the morning, and that is when your spiritual energy is at its highest.
Exactly.
You wake up early in the morning and you go to your social media and you feed yourself with everything on social media. Check out how your entire day flows, and then decide the next day, wake up in the morning, be very intentional about your morning. Feed yourself with things that are of value and importance instead of running to social media. And also check how your entire day is going to look like, right? So what you feed yourself with, what you constantly listen to, the kind of music you listen to, the kind of words you listen to, okay? The people you listen to, the people you pay attention to, it affects your strength, your clarity, and your life direction. So energy transfers, right? And what you carry internally affects everything externally. So when it comes to life, your goals and everything, you need to first of all, make it in your mind. Make up your mind. It starts from within. Whatever it is you need to achieve in this life starts from within you. So if you believe within you that you're going to be successful, you will be successful.
True.
And not believe. So because you believe that, you intentionally begin to take action. But everything starts within the mind. It starts from the inside. Now, the third one is your physical environment, who you interact with. Who are your friends? For some of us, We grew up with, neighbors, friends from church, friends from school, and you've actually grown in life to the level where you no longer need those friendships. Why? Because some of them did not grow. You need new friendships, you need new circle, but you're still hanging out with these people. And each time you hang out with them, you're feeling confused. Why? Because the conversations, the things you guys share no longer aligns with your current values and where you are headed to, right? So this is your visible environment, your relationships, your daily interactions, your environment, and the spaces within you. All of these influence your habits and they reinforce your identity. This is very, very important. It might look like is not something so important, but it is. So when you're hurt because someone you used to talk to very well suddenly stopped speaking with you, right? Imagine how hurt you feel. Whatever it is that hurt, the emotions it brings out of you. Then imagine being with someone who, whenever you speak with, you find clarity, you get direction for your life, and compare the two. Which would you rather have experience with? Okay, so all of these influences your habits, your thoughts, and your identity.
Wow, that's quite a long live session today. And as we round up, here are a few words I will say. First, for me, is what environment is shaping my thinking daily? The next one is what energy am I constantly exposed to?
Yeah.
Who and what is influencing my standards? Am I growing in the right environment or am I just adjusting to the wrong one? That's a wow. So take time today and do this real audit. All right. This video will always be here. You can always come back to it and watch it. Your spiritual environment matches your energy. Your solical environment matches your mental space. Your physical environment matches your association. All right. Because once you see clearly what is shaping you, you gain the power to intentionally shape your life. All right, that will be what I will be using to end my own section right here.
So your environment is either pushing you forward or holding you back. And this is exactly our topic of conversation today.
Yes.
So I'm going to throw this question back to you. Is your environment pushing you forward or is it holding you back? And the most dangerous environments are not the ones that attack you, okay? But the ones that make staying the same feel normal. They are the most dangerous ones. So if nothing changes around you, don't be surprised if nothing changes within you.
Wow. Thank you for watching up to this very point. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for real life conversations like this. Till we come your way again.
Have a fantastic day.